We're really excited to have you all here today. Appreciate everybody coming, and we're excited to introduce you to our first ever women's lacrosse coach here at Pitt. Your presence means a great deal in your belief in the future of Pitt athletics and certainly this lacrosse program. So I'm grateful that you're here. You know that what we're building here at Pitt Athletics is a special thing, and you know it inspires us to work hard every day to make you proud. I'll tell you, on November 1st, 2018, we were excited to share the news of the addition of lacrosse here as a sport at Pitt. And today, 8 months and a day later, or 2 days later, following the conclusion of this year's NCAA Women's Lacrosse Championships, we are even more excited to introduce you to our first ever lacrosse coach. I want to say a special thanks to our administrative team, in particular Dustin Gray, who led this search and who will be overseeing our lacrosse program. They've been extraordinary. Thanks to all the coaches and staff members involved. It takes an incredible university and an incredible staff to build a team that works well together and to bring the best people in the country here to Pitt. And so I'm confident that we've found that tremendous person and leader in Emily. You know, one of the most important and rewarding parts of the job, and I've said this before, and I will stand behind it forever, is that hiring a head coach is certainly one of the most important decisions that we make as an athletic department. They directly impact the lives of other people's children every day, and so it's a really important decision. This hire is obviously significant because it's the first coach who's going to do something unprecedented here. We set great expectations for what we wanted in a head coach. We were not going to waver or deter from those expectations, and I'm confident that our team found those qualities in Emily. You know, we wanted someone with incredibly high integrity, great confidence, relentless energy, a person who's genuine in their relationships, true to their word, treats young women as if they are someone else's child every day, strong recruiting connections, someone who knew the quality and the caliber of athlete that we want to bring here to Pitt. And, you know, really ultimately someone who really desired to compete in the ACC conference, the premier women's lacrosse conference in the country. And ultimately, someone who had experience and knowledge of what it takes to play and win a national championship. And we found that leader in Emily Boissonneault. So that's my French lesson for the day. You know, Emily's from Ontario, Canada, and so we've learned quite a bit about Canadian traditions, and she's getting lots of family and friends excited about her coming to Pittsburgh because of a little rivalry with the Penguins. I mean, they love the Steelers and Pirates, but they're talking all about the Penguins with her. But I'll tell you, when I first met Emily, what stuck in my head is she's passionate, she's genuine, and she absolutely has the courage and confidence to build and lead a lacrosse program here at Pitt. She grew up in Ontario, Canada, playing ringette, which I've learned a whole lot about. She played the indoor version on ice. And when she got to high school, the lacrosse coach said to her, "Hey, man, why don't you come out for the lacrosse team?" And her athleticism and her toughness and talent certainly showed through, and she became a tremendous lacrosse player. During the interview process, I would say one of the things I really wanted to assess was how prepared she was to compete at the level of competition that we are in the ACC. As you know, if you've read Emily's bio, she came to us most recently as, spent 4 years as the associate head coach at James Madison University. They won a national championship in 2018. So there's no question she's prepared and understands the level of competition that we are in the ACC. You know, when I asked her as a coach, what's your greatest strength? And, you know, you sort of always want to know what's their strength and what's their go-to. She replied confidently, not arrogantly, but really confidently that she can coach both sides of the ball, but defense is definitely her specialty. And then she proceeded to say, I don't know if you remember this, but, you know, I've prepared and coached against every school in the ACC except for 2. And I've taught the defense, and we've beat them all. And I'll tell you, when we issued the announcement of the hire, I got a text from Coach Narduzzi, probably a few minutes after it, of course. And he was certainly excited and excited to welcome her, wanted her cell phone and that sort of thing. And I told Coach that she is the Pat Narduzzi of defense in women's lacrosse. So he is absolutely going to love her. I think we are all going to love her and welcome her to the City of Champions. She is currently an assistant coach with Team Canada for the U19 team and national team, going to be playing in Canada coming up here at the end of August or early August. And she's certainly out there recruiting now for Pitt and building her staff. Emily is, she's excited to bring the game of women's lacrosse to Pittsburgh, and we believe in her ability to build a national caliber lacrosse program here at Pitt. So ladies and gentlemen, it is my real privilege to introduce you to our new head women's lacrosse coach, Emily Boissonneault.
Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited to be here. I talked to everyone on my interview about how when this job was posted, I guess even before the job was posted, when it was announced, immediately I knew that there was a connection. I knew that this is what I wanted. I haven't been a head coach before. This is exciting to me. This has always been my goal. And so to be here is surreal. I dreamed it up when it came up, and I've worked to show, the staff here, and I've worked to show, my peers that I'm prepared for this opportunity. And I see this as a challenge, and I see it as an opportunity and an adventure. And I'm excited to be in a city that that's really welcoming me and welcoming lacrosse. And I have to thank the University of Pittsburgh for welcoming me in and seeing that vision with me. But I also think it's really important to thank the city of Pittsburgh. I think that, lacrosse is my passion. It's my love. And to have an opportunity to show the city how special it is really exciting to me. And as a member of the lacrosse community, we're all really excited for Pittsburgh to really embrace this opportunity. So, first and foremost, again, I thank the university, but I thank the city because I think this is really special, and you guys are going to really, really love the sport, and we're going to work hard to really, connect with the university. So that's, my first and biggest thank you. And then again, I'm going to thank Heather for pushing this vision along, and Chancellor Gallagher for seeing this vision and committing to it as she has. And then Dustin Gray, you've been amazing throughout this entire process. His energy is just, it's great. And to have someone that, parallels my energy, I think is going to be really exciting. So to have the three of you as part of, my process here has been really special. And I plan to make you proud. I think that there's a lot, here, and, I think we can, build something great together. With the city, I think it's really important for you guys to understand how important being in Pittsburgh is to me. I haven't been to Pittsburgh before, other than, I drove through the city once when I found out the job was being posted, and, tried to take a look at what Pittsburgh was all about. I was very impressed with how green it was. I thought I was going to be in the middle. I joked earlier, this steel city, I thought, how steel can it be? And I got here and was it's such a beautiful community. And that's something that I really value. I grew up on the outside of Toronto, so suburb area, but close enough to the city where I really got to enjoy the full experience. And that's what this is to me. It's a full experience. I can't imagine someone not wanting to be in a city with such championship, I guess is probably the best way to put it, championship culture. But to also have the outside, the small town also community feeling, which I think is really special. That was probably one of the biggest takeaways from my interview and being here, was the community piece. And that's, I think a big part of what's going to happen here, I'm all about relationships. It's going to be a huge part of my recruiting process, and a huge part of why we'll be successful. It's the relationships we're going to be building, and to be welcomed into a community that is built off of relationships, I just think is so special. When I asked the other staff members and other coaches what was so special about Pittsburgh, they all talked about the people. They didn't talk about the city or the sports or the, or the academics. They just talked about the people. They talked about how special and how connected everyone is. And I think ultimately that's going to be what drives the success of all of those other three areas: the academics, the athletics, and the city. Right? It's how do the people build the relationships and the community around them. So I'm really excited about that part. If I'm talking, specifically about the people that have helped me get here, I'll start with Shelly Claes-Bauckham, who is my head coach at James Madison. An incredible woman. I just, when we, again, talk about relationships, she helped develop me in that area, showed me how important building these young women that I'm going to be working with is, and what those relationships really mean to them. And, we worked really hard to get to our national championship, and we did that together. It was her first national championship as well, and for us to kind of do that together, I think was really special, especially as my big mentor and someone I've really relied on in the last 4 years, and someone that's helped me prepare for this opportunity as well. So really grateful for everything she's done for me, but I think my family is so important to me, and they're going to be the people that are really driving my success. I work to make them proud. I work to be a leader like they taught me to be. I'm hoping that my dad's going to figure out how to watch today, because I really don't think he has any idea what he's doing. But I'll share my story as the next few months progress, but an incredible man. Just really fortunate to have experienced a father that cares as much as he does, but also showed me how to work hard. And I think that's going to be something that I hope to project and show you guys, is that, I'm here to work hard. I know this is going to be a challenge. My dad started his own company, right out of high school, and has been building his legacy, and I look at that and I want to parallel that. I want to show the city of Pittsburgh, and I want to show my parents that how much I've learned from their experience, and my father's a big part of my passion in this building process. So one of the reasons why I'm not intimidated, I've seen it happen. I grew up with it, right? Obviously different aspect, or different way, but I think it's going to be really special. And my mom, she's going to kill me if I don't say anything about her, but she was the one that took, I have 3 younger siblings. We all played elite level athletics, and we all played a winter and a summer sport. So for her to be the person that, she was the driver of our athletics. So my dad may have been the inspiration, but my mom was the one that made it happen. So, for every game that she ever went to, for driving the big truck around because she needed to, get all our equipment in it. I just, I couldn't be more grateful for the experience that I've had. And again, my dad was the vision, but my mom was the driver. And a huge part of this is going to be, because of what they've done for me. And I'm excited to show them the city. They weren't able to make it here today, but I know on my interview, my mom was trying to get me to go on a boat cruise and check out the city. So, we'll have lots to do when they get here, but I plan to really show them what Pittsburgh lacrosse is all about, and like I said, make them proud. But I think ultimately, again, I can't thank you enough for being here and for giving me the opportunity to lead and to start this program and this legacy.
All right, guys. Coach and Heather are open for questions.
Heather used an interesting word when she was talking about the characteristics a coach needs to have. You mentioned courage. Emily, why do you think a coach needs to be courageous?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to, have 32 young women on this team. And so I think it starts, first of all, we have to have courage to lead and to be the role models, to show them, what it takes to step to that next level. And I want them to be strong, independent women in our community. And it takes courage to lead a group of women like that. But then you look at the other side, we're starting a program in the elite lacrosse conference. And I think it's going to take courage just to be in this conference and to start from scratch. In lacrosse and women's lacrosse specifically, the ACC just dominates. It dominates, which I think is going to be really exciting for Pittsburgh because, we have a chance to really make our mark here in the lacrosse community. So it's going to take courage just to fight through, the ups and downs, and there will be ups and downs. So I think it's being ready to attack those situations. Mm-hmm.
Emily, how much was the opportunity to do a rare thing and start a program? How enticing was that for you?
Well, I mean, I wanted to be at Pittsburgh. I wanted, starting a program is one thing. I was excited to be here. So that's something that, I think you'll hear me talk quite a bit about. But, I'm not afraid of starting a program. I've been a part of starting programs. I played at a starting program. I went and coached 2 years at a second and third year program. And then I went on to a school like James Madison, who just celebrated their 50th year anniversary last year. So, I've been a part of a starting program, and there's definitely going to be challenges. But being able to start from scratch, we joked about it earlier. It's exciting. I get to be a part of every decision that's made, and not very many people get to say that, and hopefully, start that legacy so that in the future, when more coaches come in and more, hopefully I'll be here for a long time, but, when I retire and there's new coaches coming in, I want them to be excited to be here as well. So yeah, it's a thrill. Yeah.
You said you didn't know much about Pittsburgh. Do you know anything about what the lacrosse community here that exists is like, and do you feel like you'll be able to tap into some of that, or is it going to kind of be you're going to have to build that along with your program at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a little bit of both. I did my research. There's a lot of clubs in Pittsburgh. I was impressed with how many high schools had lacrosse, because that's more rare, I think, is a lot of high schools are starting to build the program. So there's definitely a lot here. Pennsylvania is a great state to recruit from, and it's a very competitive state. So I'm excited to, both get involved in the community and help build it. So maybe we can have a lot more competition coming out of Pittsburgh. But definitely, I think that there's definitely a market, for recruiting in Pittsburgh. I've said, I said it when I was talking to people earlier, but, everything I do is going to be built upon my work ethic. And I'm attracted to athletes that do the same thing. And so, athleticism, effort, talent, it's all here. It's just really helping to develop it. And, I'm a prime example of someone that didn't start playing lacrosse until 9th grade. And, I've exceeded the expectations of the people around me. So I think it's more than possible to do the same thing in the city. Mm-hmm.
Heather, as you were looking for a coach at a program that didn't previously exist, did you have to educate yourself a little bit about what you were looking for, if that makes sense, before you went out and started the search?
Yeah, no, not really. The only reason being is I was a part of a program that had lacrosse, and we added women's lacrosse at Ohio State when I was there. I was there for 15 years, and then I also served on the NCAA Division I men's lacrosse selection committee. So I'm really familiar with the sport. And very familiar with, the caliber of coaches out there and the network, and they are exceptional. And, the history of certain programs being strong. I mean, JMU is a notoriously top 10 program in the country, and they're going after the national championship every year. So a lot of network out there, a lot of great colleagues that I relied on and called upon. And appreciate all those coaches out there that I did reach out to and talk to as for advice and counsel. But no, it was a sport that I'm very familiar with and excited to bring to Pittsburgh.
Given that experience, what did you know that you needed to look for that was different than if you were hiring a coach in a program that had already been established?
I think what you're looking for is someone who has, when Jerry asked about the question about courage, someone has to have an internal belief in themselves in order to portray the confidence that you need in order to take on a challenge, something that's never been done before. You're still looking for really strong characteristics as far as being prepared to be a head coach or someone who had head coaching experience. We were looking at all types of candidates, but you wanted someone who had such belief in themselves that they weren't going to be deterred. And, when you look at the quality of academic institution along with competing in the best conference in the country, that combination is going to attract a really strong candidate. And, they know that they can recruit kids that want to go play against the best. And they're not afraid to go after that. And that's really what I saw a lot in Emily's persona and confidence level, that work is not going to deter her from getting the job done. And she knows what it takes to compete at this level. And so that was important.
Heather, as a sport, what do you like about lacrosse and how it adds to the overall program?
Well, I think it's a tremendous fit in the ACC. As we all know, the ACC network is coming on in probably, I don't know, I did have the countdown in my head 2 days ago. I think it's about 50 days. And so in the spring, they'll be, televising a whole lot of baseball, softball, men's and women's lacrosse. And so we wanted to be in that network brand. And so I think it puts our university in a very good position within the ACC and to be on television. It's a great fit for Pennsylvania. This is a recruiting, all the candidates we met with talked about the ability to recruit here. You are close to the hotbeds. You're 4 hours from DC. You're where do the kids sleep with their sticks? The coaches say, but you're close to DC. You're close to Long Island. You're close to New Jersey. You're close to all of Pennsylvania, Philly, and Canada. There's a whole lot of great athletes in this particular part of the country. And as the sport continues to grow, even west, there's strong candidates. The other thing that's really strong about Pitt is you can develop a tremendous schedule in RPI. You're playing in the most premier conference in the country, and then you've got a lot of local schools that you can play that are going to help and elevate your RPI. There's 6 out of the 9 schools in the ACC got into the NCAA tournament. So it's well set up and designed for success.
Anything else, guys? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll give it to
In the back?
Yeah, it's got your name on it.